Hey guys, if you're like me, there is always something to do, or at the very least, something to worry about. But what if I were to tell you that the majority of the stress we feel from life's challenges are actually self-inflicted? In this video, we will look at how the mind will create problems out of normal life situations and what we can do about it. So I'd like to give an example of somebody who may create a lot of unnecessary stress from life situations. So let's say we got a guy named Bob who is a project manager and he has meetings all day and he goes home and he's very stressed out and worries about what he said that day in his meetings and in his work. He then goes to bed and thinks about what he has to do the very next day. So Bob actually likes his job, but he just hates how he's always overwhelmed and constantly stressed out. He wishes he could just focus on his work without all of the stress and worry that seems to go along with it. So we can take this specific example of Bob, the project manager, and abstract the main points away and see how a lot of us deal with the very same stuff when we deal with life's challenges. And that is, we worry and overanalyze the past, and we constantly think and worry about the future. So here's a kind of good rule of thumb to look at next time you are worrying. So can you change the situation right here in the present moment? If so, make that change and then you don't have to keep thinking and worrying about it. If that's not the case, then can you remove yourself from the situation entirely in this moment? If not, okay, can't do anything there. So what's the third option? If we can't change it in this moment, we can't remove ourselves from this moment, what are we left with? Well, we can continue to do what we have been doing, which is worrying, or the third option, the thing we most forget, accepting it. Now, that doesn't mean that we accept this situation indefinitely and saying we can never change it, no. But it means if we cannot change it in this moment, the only moment we have, why cause ourselves unnecessary worry and stress if we simply don't have to? So next time you notice that you are worrying or feeling anxious, take a look at the kinds of thoughts you're having. Are they thoughts about the past? Are they thoughts about the future? And if so, that could be very why you are worrying and stressed out, is always fixated on the past or the future. And know this, you do not have to always engage with every thought you have. Note to yourself, thought about the past, thought about the future, and you don't have to follow it. And the more often you do this is very much a skill, the more you do this, the better you get at it. And the more you start to notice these thoughts that are about the past, about the future, and your brain will start to kind of cool down, so to speak, the better you get at this and not following each and every worrisome thought. And then over time, you then have less stress. And so why do we constantly worry? Well, it's the nature of the mind to solve problems with thinking. And if we never kind of get a hold of our thinking and see what kind of thoughts that we are constantly having, then we can just let our mind go into overdrive, constantly worrying, constantly thinking about the past, constantly thinking about the future. And then we never get a break. We never get to actually experience the only moment that actually exists, which is this present one. So if we learn to kind of check our thoughts and to not always need to engage with them, and the better we get at that, the better we are able to stay in the present moment and to kind of eliminate a lot of that self-inflicted worry and suffering that we don't need to feel. Because if we have a loved one, someone we care about a lot, would we want them to constantly worry if it didn't better their situation? Of course not. But why do we put this double standard on ourselves that we need to worry constantly about the past and the future? We don't. We don't need to. So let's change this habit of constantly following every past and future thought that comes to our minds. And no, we don't have to follow it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about how our thinking turns a normal life situation into problems and into stress. So until next time, thank you guys.